YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys episode 17 of our Road to Regionals series here, where I learned the VGC 2017 format and ultimately compete in St. Louis on March 4th. If you missed the last episode, check it out in the description below. We got ourselves a brand new team. We actually picked up 2 wins out of the 2 matches. It was a lot of fun, man. We rocked with Togedemaru, putting in the finest of work. Nihilego, proving itself to be a very, very good offensive threat, almost a little anti-meta in a way, because it really handles a lot of the main threats in the format right now. Loving it, and let's jump into it, man. We're not gonna waste too much time here. Ready to jump into another episode. Hit that like button if you're feeling it, guys. You want to support the channel, helps out a ton. And of course, let me know in the comments section below, have you tried VGC 2017 yet? I know a lot of people have been tweeting me and stuff, telling me, hey, I'm trying it myself. I've done okay so far, whatever it may be. Let me know how it's going for you. You know, I don't think you should put too much pressure on yourself to win when you're first starting, because you never know, you know what I mean? Like, even myself, I consider myself to be a pretty experienced battler outside of VGC, and even I am struggling, you know, for the most part too. So, you know, it's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to be having some fun and testing our skills, hopefully growing along the way. That's the objective, is to get better. But let me know if you've tried it yourself and did you enjoy it? And then anything that you think might be relevant. Is there a certain Pokemon that you think might just be a super standout Pokemon in this, potentially for this series or just in VGC right now? We've seen a lot of similarities between teams, you know, common teams running like Tapu, Kartana, Arcanine. Arcanine is actually, I think, the most used Pokemon right now, or at least the top 3, I think, with Coco and maybe Lele and stuff. So it's definitely getting some notice. Definitely getting some notice there from Arcanine. But let's see what he's got here. He's got a Talonflame, a Stoutland. Wow, this is an interesting team. A Lightning Rod, CK most likely. He's bringing the Hail, and he's got a Magnezone. So I really like Togedemaru in this matchup for a couple reasons. I like the fake out pressure. I like the opportunity there. He's like got a weird team, like anti-weather, but I don't want to take it for granted by any means. I really do like Arcanine as a lead here because it really handles a lot of his team, and I think Togedemaru can be pretty effective as well. I don't know if that's going to put on enough offensive pressure if I lead Togedemaru and Arcanine, but it could be effective. Nihilego actually, what does Nihilego do? No, I don't really like Nihilego. I kind of like Bulu here, though. I feel like Bulu could actually put in some work. Debating on, I think I want to lead Togedemaru Arcanine, and I think I want to bring Gyarados in the back. I am a little worried. Do I want to bring Gyarados? Hold on, let's think about this. I'm a little worried about the Ninetales, and I'm a little bit worried about the Magnezone. I think not. Oh man, this is a tough decision here. I feel like I gotta bring Bulu in the back, even though I haven't really used Bulu too much. I just think it's a really offensive threat. And then I'm leaning towards Gyarados because I do have a couple answers for Magnezone, and I think Gyarados can be pretty effective against this team, aside from Ninetales. Like, Ninetales is like the thing that's actually worrying me the most, believe it or not, but I think I'm gonna go with it. And if he does bring Ninetales, we'll just have to kind of work around it. But I want to get that Intimidate off on the first turn. I want to be able to get a Fake Out off, and I would love to be able to try to eliminate that Magnezone because I'm feeling like that's gonna be one of the tougher things for us. I decided to go Gyarados, but it's definitely not the best situation for Gyarados because of the potential of the Magnezone, obviously, Freeze Draw on the Ninetales, so on and so forth. Obviously, after a Dragon Dance, we will outspeed Ninetales, but nevertheless, let's see what he's gonna lead with here. I really like Arcanine in this matchup, aside from like the Mudsdale shenanigans, but he's gonna lead Stoutland Ninetales here, so very cool stuff. This is actually a pretty interesting situation for me because I really lose nothing by simply going for a Fake Out into the Ninetales and actually flamethrowing the Ninetales, trying to eliminate that thing right away. If he goes for like a Protect or something, that would be annoying, but I see no reason not to double into the Ninetales here. I don't know if Fake Out plus Flamethrower is gonna be enough though, but I don't see any reason not to double into Ninetales. I'm really struggling with why that's not my best play here. So I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna just double into the Ninetales with a Flamethrower and a Fake Out. I don't want to allow him to set up on me. And I think by doing this, I can really weaken this Ninetales. And I don't really think that Stoutland can knock out Togedemaru in one hit because of the Intimidate from our own Arcanine. I don't really know what that Stoutland's gonna do to us. I mean, he can't, like, Earthquake doesn't really make a lot of sense. And if we could Fake Out, though, into this Ninetales and knock it out on the first turn, that would be huge. I really don't see him protecting because he's got the Sash, so he very well could just go for like a Blizzard here. He could just try to set up an Aurora Veil. So we are going to connect the Fake Out here, which is great because we would break any potential Sash on this Ninetales, which is great. And we are going to get the Flamethrower here, which leads me to believe this could be like an Assault Vest Stoutland. Is that going to be enough to pick up the kill? It does not pick up the kill, and he's going to Thunder Wave, but our Lightning Rod activates. So maybe he didn't think that we were going to have Lightning Rod or whatever it may be, but that is actually pretty sweet for us because Togedemaru now is sitting in a good spot. Now, here's the struggle I'm dealing with because he pretty much gets his Aurora Veil up, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. I don't think I can stop the Aurora Veil at this point in time. I think I should still Flamethrower into the Ninetales slot though. So I'm going to do that, and I'm actually gonna go for an Encore into the Stoutland slot here and force him to continue to Thunder Wave. If he wants to switch out, that's fine, but he can't Thunder Wave with Togedemaru sitting here. So he's gonna switch out, so I almost nuzzled into that slot. Here comes the Mudsdale, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Mudsdale's coming out. There's not a whole lot I could do about that. He does set the Aurora Veil, which is definitely a bit of a bummer, but I do believe our Flamethrower will knock out the Ninetales here and at least remove that as a threat from the team here. Encore doesn't do anything, and Flamethrower goes into the Ninetales slot, and that is going to give Gyarados a much better time against his team. Now, he obviously cannot use this Mudsdale to go for a ground type move against our Togedemaru, so we have that going for us very nicely because we do have the Air Balloon, but he could have Rock Slide, which is what I'm expecting him to use, is Rock Slide, or he could go for the I forget what the move is called, but it's High Horsepower. He could high Horsepower into our Arcanine slot, which wouldn't be too surprising if that's what he wants to do. But we know that Stoutland is less of a threat, and we need to know what his fourth is, and hopefully we'll get the intel on his fourth right now, because I'm really not scared about the Stoutland. It's not Assault Vest, it's just Intimidate, like bulky Stoutland. He's gonna bring Stoutland back out here, which isn't too big of a deal. He may try to double into our Togedemaru, but what I think I wanna do here is switch out into my Gyarados slot, get the Intimidate off on the Mudsdale, and then ultimately go for the Spiky Shield here with our Togedemaru slot, because I could really put some pressure on and use some Encore shenanigans, and he really shouldn't be able to touch us. And if he does go for the Rock Slide, we still get the -1 attack on the Mudsdale. We immediately threaten it out with a Waterfall and really scare that thing. I could go for the Nuzzle into the Stoutland. We have a couple different options there, and he can't go for an electric move into our Gyarados, the Thunder Wave, nor the like a Wild Charge will do anything. And plus we get the Intimidate onto the Stoutland here. So a lot of good things going on in this turn. I really don't know what to expect. Spiky Shield's gonna come off here. We'll see if he's gonna try to break our balloon. Maybe he'll target into the Togedemaru. He's gonna go for the Psychic Fangs, and actually does connect into our Gyarados slot there, and he is gonna go for the Rock Slide. So we do see the Rock Slide coming, not too surprising there. This is gonna hurt the Gyarados, but you're gonna see we can take that relatively well, and we can really put some pressure on his Mudsdale now, because he really can't do a whole lot to us. I mean, Waterium Z into the Mudsdale, even if he has Protect, like, it's gonna hurt, and I don't think there was anything on his team that wants to take this, so I think I'm just gonna go for it. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, Seeking would be the only thing that he could switch in, really, but that's not really something that scares me. So I'm gonna just go for it. We're gonna go for the Hydro Vortex into the Mudsdale slot, and I am gonna go for the Nuzzle, I think, into the Stoutland slot, because I'm really not too concerned about the Stoutland right now. So let's do that. Let's go for the Nuzzle into the Stoutland, try in case he switches it out. We can get a para on something, but we're gonna hit a huge Hydro Vortex. He's gonna go for the Helping Hand here and try to give a boost to his Mudsdale, but Mudsdale is gonna be incredibly slow. It's very, very slow, so I don't really see how that is going to work. We get a nice little para on the Stoutland, obviously, with the Nuzzle, and we are firing up our Hydro Vortex here. Now, I don't know if this is gonna knock out the Mudsdale. I don't know. I can tell you we are Adamant Max Attack Gyarados, so we are a very powerful Gyarados. We're gonna hit this thing really hard, but Mudsdale's a bulky Pokemon, and there's a chance he lives this and is able to fire off a Rock Slide, which I do believe would actually knock out our Gyarados at this point in time, but I'm not too concerned because this Mudsdale is gonna be knocked down to an incredibly low amount of health, and that is gonna pick up the kill. I don't know why I questioned that. I don't think a regular Waterfall would have, but the Hydro Vortex just does so much. And we see Togedemaru really just putting in the work here, getting the Fake Out off on the first turn, getting a Nuzzle off. You know, I predicted the Encore, but nevertheless, still pretty effective stuff. And I can actually Encore the Stoutland to Helping Hand now too, and essentially render that thing totally useless. Magnezone is his final Pokemon, which he really can't do much to me. I basically get a free Earthquake here. So I'm gonna just go for the Earthquake, and I am gonna go for the I am still floating on an air balloon, I believe. Let's take a look. I am still floating on my balloon. So Magnezone can't touch me, so I can simply go for an Encore into the Stoutland slot. Or I can simply Spiky Shield here too if I think he would target me down, but I don't think he will. I think the Encore into the Stoutland slot, forcing the Helping Hand move, is going to be interesting. And I'm curious how the move priority here works. This Earthquake is going to hit this Magnezone regardless, though, and I still do have my Arcanine in the back to handle Magnezone if I need it. So we're in the driver's seat here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm feeling pretty good about this match at this point in time. He does protect Magnezone, so that's totally fine with me, but that means I can also lock his Magnezone into protect in the following turn with Encore, and we're gonna see little Togedemaru putting in the finest of work once again. Earthquake is gonna come off. It does hit the connect with the Stoutland here. Obviously we have the Air Balloon, so that works out really well. And it blows my mind, guys. This is 3 matches now, I think, where we've seen Stoutland get to do some work. And it's just crazy because the opponent never seems to attack Togedemaru. But same play here, simply Earthquake, and we just Encore this Magnezone into protect here, and that is game. He cannot do anything to us. We are able to simply Encore the rest of his moves here. Helping Hand doesn't do anything. Encore the Magnezone into protect, forcing him to protect, and obviously he will eventually fail. Even if he gets the protect off this time, he will eventually fail. But I'm curious to see how this order works. So the protect does come off, but it fails because he tried to use it twice in a row, and our Earthquake does dodge our Togedemaru due to the beautiful Air Balloon, and I'm glad I made that choice with that item. We do a tremendous amount to the Magnezone, and he's gonna activate a berry on his Stoutland, little citrus berry action. But we are in a very commanding position here, guys. We actually have this one in the bag. Earthquake comes off, and we can simply go and I can simply just Encore, I think. There's not really any reason for me to do anything other than that. I mean, I could just Nuzzle too. So let's just Nuzzle into the Stoutland for a tiny bit of damage because they're still both Encored. So he's locked in Helping Hand and Protect. He's gonna forfeit, so not surprising there. He realizes that he is like a musician on stage right now, and I'm just like, dude, play me a song, baby, play me a song. But nice win there. Togedemaru coming in clutch again, dude. I am loving this team. I did test Togedemaru on my initial play of VGC a few weeks back, almost a month ago when I first started learning. And Togedemaru Gyarados is a fun combination, often overlooked because of Marowak obviously being more prevalent, but being able to go for Fake Out, then being able to Encore things that are using Protect and stuff, it's very, very unique, and it gives a lot of opportunities for the other Pokemon on the team to shine. So that was a fun match. Let's hope we can keep this win streak going because we are doing well. I think we've won 3 in a row now with this team, and I don't want to jinx it, but I like to keep it going. So let's see what we got going on here. We've got a guy from Spain here, the Canary Islands, very cool, Christian, and let's see what the team he's got. He's got a Arcanine, Coco, Marowak, Garchomp, and Milotic with a Celesteela. So the Milotic is very scary because it very well could have competitive Intimidate. So I'm gonna do something different here. I'm actually gonna lead Bulu and Togedemaru, I think, because I do think that Togedemaru can be still effective in this matchup. And I do like Ninetales? I like Gyarados with that. I like Nihilego can be pretty effective because I do hit super effectively against a few of his Pokemon. And I think I want to bring Arcanine for the Celesteela slot. I don't see Gyarados doing a ton here. Because I think Gyarados he's got 2 fire types, but Gyarados is gonna get bopped by the Milotic here, and I don't wanna intimidate on that Milotic because it's probably gonna be competitive Adrenaline Orb. I'm really expecting him to lead that Milotic, so I like this. I really like this. I think this is the right way to go about this, is to lead with my lead with my Bulu, and also lead with my Togedemaru, and really just try to get rid of that Milotic or something else right off the bat, because Togedemaru can put the pressure on like Arcanine and stuff like that and keep that from attacking, and then I could potentially get a big Wood Hammer off onto something and see how that goes. And we can obviously, the nice thing is we do outspeed Arcanine, so if he protected turn 1, I could Encore him into it and force him into protecting. So if he leads like something like Garchomp, we could Fake Out into that, and I could go for the Wood Hammer into it and knock it out. So we do have a couple different options with this lead Togedemaru Bulu here. He is gonna lead Milotic Garchomp, so I'm not surprised to see that at all, actually. In fact, I was pretty much expecting the Milotic, especially with me having 2 Intimidate users on my team. Now, what I really want to do here is I feel like the Protect and the Milotic is incredibly obvious. I feel like it's incredibly obvious. I think what I want to do is actually Fake Out into Garchomp, Wood Hammer into Garchomp. I don't really think this Milotic is going to want to attack, so I really like that play. I like the Fake Out into Garchomp and the Wood Hammer into Garchomp, because the worst that he does is goes into Arcanine here, but I'm really not as concerned about that, and I think he's going to want to keep this Garchomp on the field to go for a Poison Jab into our Bulu slot, and I think that Milotic is protecting on this turn, or switching out. I don't really see Milotic wanting to stay in here. He's gonna switch out, not too surprising there. He's gonna go into Marowak to try to take some Electric-type moves, which leads me to believe that this Garchomp may go on the offensive on this turn. And we are gonna get the Fake Out off into the Garchomp slot. Very nice. Obviously, we're gonna take some Rocky Helmet. We get a crit there, not really, or some Rough Skin, but that doesn't touch our balloon, which is nice. And we are gonna get a giant Wood Hammer off into the Garchomp slot here, and that is going to definitely knock this thing out. Very, very nice. We take some Rough Skin damage, but we're gonna heal that off for the most part with our Grassy terrain, and we get rid of Garchomp right on the first turn. We take a lot of damage from recoil there, but not too shabby at all. I have to figure out how I'm gonna beat this Marowak now. That is gonna be one of the problems, but Bulu definitely puts on some pressure, at least with being able to, you know, put on some serious offensive pressure on the Milotic later. So this is a really obvious switch here, I think, that I'm just gonna need to go into Arcanine on. I don't want to allow the Celesteela to set up, but I also want to get the Intimidate off on the Marowak. So I'm going to go into Arcanine there, and then I'm going to go for this Spiky Shield and basically stop anything from happening here. And having the Encore for Celesteela on the following turn is going to be very useful. So let's make this work, and I could potentially Encore that Celesteela into whatever it wants to do. I get the double attack drop here, so even if he does go for a Bone Meringue into our Bulu slot, which wouldn't make a lot of sense, we can take the hits and so on and so forth. Plus, we'll get the attack drops onto the Celesteela, and that could reduce his heavy slam damage. Spiky Shield comes off here. Hopefully, he'll Flare Blitz into our Togedemaru. He's going to heavy slam, and he does target into our Arcanine slot. Not a big deal. This shouldn't really do anything. It's going to be depending on what this Marowak decides to do. And he does go for the Flare Blitz into the Togedemaru slot. Very, very nice, and we get a beautiful amount of damage off there. And really threaten this this Marowak. Now, obviously, I can't go for Nuzzle, which is quite unfortunate. I'm not able to Nuzzle here. But what I can do is I can Encore the... Let's see here. What do I have in the back? I have Bulu and Nihilego, so I don't really want to go into Nihilego here. I do want to Flamethrower into the Celesteela, but I feel like he is going to make a switch here into the Milotic. I'm really feeling like the Milotic switch is happening. I just don't know how I want to go about this. This is a tough play. I don't really have a ton of time. Flamethrower into Celesteela is a really good play. Snarl's actually a decent play here too, because I hit the Marowak too. So let's go for the Snarl, and I'm actually going to switch out my Togedemaru, and I'm going to go into my Nihilego, I think. Because I don't want to take a Flare Blitz just yet. Although, no, you know what? Let's Encore the Celesteela into... Let's Encore Celesteela. He's gonna protect, so I think he's... I ran out of time there, so I think we're gonna lose our Togedemaru here, which is a bummer, but it's not the worst thing in the world. We do get a Snarl off, which is gonna hit the Marowak super effective. It's not gonna do a ton, but we don't really have much to hit it. And you see we do a little tiny bit of damage. If he Flare Blitzes into our Togedemaru, which it looks like he does do, that is definitely gonna hurt, there's no doubt about it, but he's gonna take a lot of damage too, as a result. And because of the recoil damage, so you're gonna see him knocked down to a good amount of health there. And now I get to go into my Nihilego and immediately threaten out the Marowak, is I think what I want to do here. We could really scare out that Marowak slot. I do worry a tiny bit about the Celesteela though, which is why I'm a little concerned. I think what I want to do is actually go into Bulu, perhaps. We need Bulu to beat the, we need Bulu still. I think what I want to do here is go to Nihilego, and I think I want to go, I hope I don't mess this play up here. I want to go Nihilego, and I want to go for the Flamethrower into Celesteela, but I feel like he's going to switch. So maybe I switch into Bulu here, and then, yeah, do I think Celesteela's staying in? He's definitely protect, so he's probably the standard set here. I'm gonna switch out my Arcanine into Bulu. He's not gonna target Arcanine with anything other than a grass type move. And then I'm gonna go for the Power Gem into the Marowak slot. And I'm pretty sure that that'll give us the offensive advantage we need. He's gonna probably protect Marowak here, is what I'm expecting. A Protect on Nihilego might not be a bad play. Let's go for the Protect on Nihilego and just let his Marowak sit there, and then we're gonna go into Bulu here. And I'm expecting him to like target into the Nihilego. I think he's gonna switch Celesteela out into Milotic here. But he doesn't, he actually stays in. So let's see what he goes for here. This might have been a misplay. He goes for the Protect with Marowak, so we predict that properly. which is very, very nice. Now we can put the pressure into that Marowak slot. He does go for the heavy slam, and he does target into Nihilego. So that was actually a great play there. I had a feeling he was going to double into Nihilego because he really had to put some pressure on there. And now what I can do is I can actually double into the Marowak slot here, and we can get rid of that thing. So I'm going to Horn Leech into the Marowak and Power Gem into the Marowak. And if the Power Gem knocks him out, great. Then we just have to deal with the Celesteela. If the Power Gem doesn't knock him out, I could protect here with Bulu, but I want to cover that Marowak switch into my Milotic here, predicting a Power Gem, and maybe he'll try to preserve his Marowak. So he's going to switch out, which is lovely. So we're going to hit this thing with not only a Power Gem, but also a Horn Leech, and that'll definitely knock out the Milotic. We are still Grassy terrain boosted. Power Gem's not going to do a ton, but it's gonna do enough. And because we have our Arcanine in the back, that's actually putting us in a great situation here, because we can get an Intimidate off on both the Celesteela and the Marowak now, put a ton of pressure on. Our Tapu Bulu gets fully healed again. I am a little concerned about the threat of him going for Heavy Slam to Nihilego and knocking it out, but I'm not, it's not the worst thing in the world, because I don't think it would kill. But it looks like he's going, yeah, he does go into the Nihilego. He is intimidated, and he does knock us out. It's not a crit, it's super effective hit, even with the Intimidate, so do have to kind of keep that in mind. He's gonna get a Beast Boost here, and that's gonna boost his Spadef, which is fine. Really not too concerned about that. And we do have our Arcanine here, which is going to get an Intimidate off on both the Marowak and the Celesteela, or I'm sorry, the Marowak and the Celesteela. And now what I have to do is basically double into the Marowak slot and get rid of it. I need to figure out how to get rid of that Marowak, because if Marowak attacks my Bulu slot, obviously, he is going to knock us out. So I think actually my best play here is to protect Bulu and Flamethrower Marowak, maybe? I gotta figure out how to beat the Marowak. I could Wood Hammer into the Marowak, like double into it, which doesn't seem like a terrible play. Yeah, let's do that. Let's actually double, let's Wood Hammer and Flamethrower into the Marowak slot, and just try to get as much damage off as I can. I think a Snarl might be better, but I don't want to miss. I want to get as much damage off on it as I can. So let's just double into that. And Bulu should be faster than Arcanine, and it is. So I will connect the Wood Hammer here. I don't know if this is going to be enough since we're not in the terrain. It doesn't do as much as I was hoping, so this could have been a misplay here, because Flamethrower is going to come off. I don't know if this is going to do enough. I'm thinking it might not, though. Oh, it just sneaks out the kill. Huge, huge pickup there. And that puts us in a 2-on-1 against Celesteela, which is going to Leech Seed and try to Leech Seed stall us out here on our Arcanine. But I don't really see how he's going to come out on this one, because we can just simply Flamethrower and double into this thing. I do have a Citrus to give us a little bit more longevity if we get to that. But we're not in a bad spot here. I really think just Horn Leeching into the Celesteela, Flamethrowing into the Celesteela. Pretty sure he's going to be annoying here and just go for a Protect. This is where Substitute would be nice, but he's actually not going to Protect. He's just going to let us go for the offensive. So tiny bit of damage off there with a Horn Leech, going to give us a little bit of health back. Flamethrower is actually going to probably do about, I would say, 50%. He did get a special defense increase, though, so we don't want to forget that. And he may target a, that actually doesn't do a whole lot at all. He's going to target the Heavy Slam into the Bulu slot, and we'll see how much this does. It doesn't do too much. It does a decent amount, but not too much. So I think what I have to do here is we'll just protect Bulu. I could also Horn Leech. I mean, he's getting a lot of health back with this Leech Seed, which is definitely annoying. But Bulu, wow, look how much he just got back. He is really like recovering a lot of health. I'm gonna protect Bulu here because I don't want to allow him to get another boost, and I'm going to Flamethrower into the Celesteela. He's probably gonna protect though. I think he is gonna protect on this turn. Which is going to be annoying if we lose to just protecting Celesteela. He does protect, so now I know what his pattern is going to be. I'm going to just Horn Leech, I think. I could also Superpower, which might not be a terrible idea. The problem with Superpowering is if I Superpower, I lose my defense, and that allows him to do more damage to us with Heavy Slam, so that's the struggle with that. And you see just how much health he gets back every turn with this Leech Seed. I really don't want to get 2v1 against the Celesteela right now. That would be incredibly annoying. I'm going to Horn Leech to get as much health as I can back. I'm going to go for the Flamethrower here and try to weaken the Celesteela. And a burn would be quite lovely. This will actually give us a little bit of health back and actually put us maybe in a situation where after a few of these we can actually live a couple hits from the Celesteela. Flamethrower comes off. A burn would be huge. A 10% chance or a crit to break through that Spadef increase. We need something to happen here. He's gonna Heavy Slam into our Bulu slot, and I don't want to give him another special increase here. He does get that off, so I think I need a Superpower. I think I'm gonna need a Superpower, actually, and just try to get as much damage off on this thing as I can, and allow me to just Flamethrower it to oblivion. That's gonna activate our Citrus. This is gonna be interesting, whether or not we're gonna be able to put enough pressure on him with Flamethrowers here before we get stalled out to protect Leftovers and Leech Seed. As you can see, we're barely doing anything. I lose nothing by Superpowering here. I think this is my play. He's probably gonna protect. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's gonna protect, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it, so we just Flamethrower and Superpower and try to get as much damage off on it as I can. He does go for the protect, so he's trying to get a little bit more health back. The problem here is I don't want to allow him to knock out our Bulu, so I think I'm gonna protect Bulu on this turn. And we'll just have to play this protect game, because if he knocks out Bulu, he gets a special defense increase, and I do not want to allow that to happen. So, man, he just keeps getting like way back up to full. This is like the most obnoxious stalwart ever. Like I feel like we're not even making any dents into him at this point. It's because we're not. I'm gonna protect Bulu here to try to eliminate that attack, and we're gonna Flamethrower into the Celesteela slot, because I'm pretty sure he's just gonna heavy slam into Bulu. And then on the following turn, we'll just keep doing this. Eventually, he's gonna take a Superpower plus a Flamethrower on a turn, and hopefully we can make it work. But I'm just really worried, because if he gets another special defense increase, it's gonna be very hard for us. We need something to go our way. He does heavy slam into the Bulu. We need something to go our way here. Man, I don't know. This is gonna be a tough one to lose. I'm not gonna be a happy dude if we lose this one, but it's not looking good, guys. It is not looking good as Arcanine continues to get worn down here, and he just keeps getting health, dude. He's gonna be at full after this turn. Oh my goodness, this thing is so annoying. I'm gonna Superpower Flamethrower, and I need a crit Flamethrower, man. He doesn't. He's gonna let us hit the Superpowers because he knows he needs to knock out the Bulu here. So we get a good chunk off, get him down below half. We're gonna get the Flamethrower off before he gets his boost, but we need a crit right now. We need a crit or a burn or something. Nothing, and the heavy slam is gonna knock out the Bulu, and now we're dealing with the protect shenanigans. This is so soul crushing to take on this Celesteela right now. Like, I'm not mad about it, because I understand it's like, it's a Pokemon that this guy's using, and like, it's part of the game, but it's very frustrating right now to feel that I'm losing because someone's just stalling Leech Seed. But I also understand that I could have easily run Leech Seed on my own Bulu and stalled him out and tried to reduce this, but as you can see here, he is just gonna protect on this turn. There's not anything I could do about it. We're gonna Flamethrower. And now, I most certainly need a Flamethrower crit, and I don't even think a Flamethrower crit wins it at this point. He does protect. He's gonna get the Leech Seed back, and this is gonna go down as probably my least favorite game. I really felt that we played well in this game too. I feel like we really played well, but you know, it is what it is, man. He's gonna get this Leech Seed back, and basically, I think the only way we win here is if I crit Flamethrower, and even that I don't think is enough. But we have to crit, so I'm gonna Flamethrower and hopefully get a crit here. I don't even think a crit is gonna be enough though. We need a Flamethrower, crit burn. Probably 10% chance to burn, 6.75 to crits. That's not gonna do it. And no burn. He's gonna heavy slam, and that'll really do it for us here. He just protects the next turn, and that's game. So, what are you gonna do, guys? I'm sorry that we just sat through that, but that was just, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I'm still happy about this team though. 3-1 now after that. He does take us down to the Leech Seeds. This guy is a champion when it comes to his Leech Seeds. I probably could have played the clock there if I wanted to. I don't know what the clock was at. I feel like I probably could have played the clock against him if I wanted to try to stall it out. I don't really know how that works, but it is what it is, man. We take a loss there, 1-0 to a Celesteela with Leech Seed and heavy slam and protect. And we never saw his last move, but it was probably substitute or something like that. So that is that, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Road to Regionals. I'm sorry that match at the end there was just brutal. Trust me, it was brutal for me. Like, I'm actually like inside, I want to erupt right now, but it's okay. No big deal, guys. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on our question of the day. That's gonna be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I'll by aDrive, and I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace.